About reconciliation in Liberia and prosecution of people who may have committed atrocities?
I think reconciliation is okay. Prosecution is foolishness. You know what? Why did they choose TRC? Why did they choose TRC? After that, I saw Africa. I was not in Ghana. They went to Ghana and the internet.
What do you think about reconciliation in Liberia and prosecution of people who may have committed atrocities?
I think reconciliation is okay. Prosecution is foolishness. You know what? Why did they choose TRC? Why did they choose TRC? After that, I saw Africa. I was not in Ghana. They went to Ghana and the international community put before Liberia, World Crime Court, and TRC. And they choose TRC. So why do you want TRC to metamorphose into World Crime Court? You have to first pass a law, remove the TRC, and bring in World Crime Court, and go back again, collecting intelligence, information about people. Because you cannot just accuse people. You have to have facts.
Let me also ask you a tricky question. I read that there's an FBI investigation going on about presumed murder.
Don't worry about that.
Do you think it's politically motivated?
It's political. I know the whole detail. I know everything. Don't worry about that.
But how is it politically motivated? Do you think that really the United States try to interfere in the elections?
I would not answer that because it's rubbish. I know who is the architect. The very architect of the propaganda invited me to Ghana. Dr. Allen White.
The former...
Dr. Allen White, who was recruited or contracted for Sierra Leone issue. They invited me, and I met two white guys who are the lobbyists for Bernard Uri. They asked me to be Bernard Uri's running mate. Then they will move my name from the War Crime Court. Then they will move Bernard Uri's name for the economic crime, for the maritime money and so forth. So I told that, well, look here, are you telling me the truth here? Because if you know I committed heinous crime against humanity, why would you want to remove my name because you want to be vice president? Bullshit. Eh? If I came to remove Doe to liberate this great country from a dictatorial regime, from a tyrannical regime, and I left my function to go on a killing spree, then let me face the War Crime Court. If it is real, I go there. I'm not above the law. But you can't threaten me and put me on a suggestion that I must be running me to Bernard Uri.
So you think there might be some interest even of foreign powers into this election?
I don't think so.
No?
I think Donald Trump, President Trump, the United States government has said to see in Trump election. Had there been a president, perhaps like Hillary, who is a good friend of Madame Salif, who 2011 temporary election. So I think it's okay now.
A lot of people who have seen this video that is currently circulating on YouTube about how you removed President Samuel Doe out of power
I'll tell you this. I cannot answer that. Samuel Doe, Bushak, Turbo. Do we have that video too? We have. He went to the Greystone compound where the American embassy is, killed the people. He entered the church and desecrated God's house. When you desecrate God's house, God's spirit moves from you. You are gone.
So you pay your debt? You pay debt on behalf of the people?
For every action, there is a reaction.
So if there are tyrants in power, you say there has to also be some violence.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening to you. This is Jay Randy here, and thank you so much for the opportunity. It's Sunday evening, and we are about to wrap up the day here with this interview and other video coming up. So I would like to say good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me here. My name is Jay Randy. If you're just joining me here, thank God that you are here for the first time. If you are here for the second time and always come here, thank God. And for you guys here, we got over 250 videos. There's 250 videos that I have here. As you can see here, always uploading all my videos from here. So we have more videos, and as we go through this year, next year interview, we will bring you more. All right, there are more videos. We got Prince Johnson audios and other stuff like that. So we've been in this thing for a very long time, and it's just a matter of when. So tonight on the lineup here, we are going to bring another video of Mr. Jefferson Koji, been accused many times as his behavior continuing to make people in the country unease because of his involvement. We're going to discuss that. And we are going to tell you guys why Mr. Cummings is the only hope for this generation, especially next year election. And thank you guys so much for the opportunity that God has given us to be on such a platform where we can disseminate information. By way of radio, we are on Hot FM in the morning from Monday to Friday, 3 a.m. and my time, 4 a.m. here. So it's up to you if you want to be up in the morning, 3 a.m. New York time. That is the East Coast time. And then at 7 a.m., I believe, in Liberia. We continue to push the message. We continue to push the agenda for Mr. Cummings and the CPP. We are looking forward to getting more opposition within the CPP. As Mr. Cummings said, the CPP is like a car traveling from Ganta to Monrovia. People will get off and we hope to get more passenger on board until they can get to Monrovia. So some have gotten up already, and then we want to make sure that we bring more people in. So everything we discuss here is content based, is based on the issue. My goal here is to help more Liberians understand why they should make an informed decision next year, because it is a very critical time of our life, critical time of your future, your generation future. And if we miss this one out, it's going to take another 6 years. And that 6 years, trust me, your age is running low. Your opportunity is getting less and lesser. But these guys continue to enrich themselves. The money they put in the bank is not going to go into your bank account. The money they're saving for their children is not going to be saved for your children. The 5 cent, 10 cent they're giving you is only a temporary to sustain your interest in them. But as far as the sustainable interest, well, you have to live with the decision you're making now. So where do we come in? We come in at a time where there is an election coming up, and we want you to make an informed decision. Do not, and I repeat myself, do not listen to Liberians who support George Weah that live in the diaspora. The reason they are not living with you in Liberia, even though they tell you that Weah is doing well, they are not willing to make that family decision. They are not willing to make that future decision by leaving their comfort zone in the white man country and go to stay with George Weah home. Many of them feel that he's doing the right thing, but they're not willing to go there. Do not make that mistake, because a George Weah leave that country in shambles and complete destruction. They will not be impacted, and they will not come there to say, you know what, I hear your pain. I am not only having sympathy for you, but I do have empathy for you. They will not come to your rescue. So who do you listen to? You listen to someone who will tell you the truth. And here's why. I live in this country that many sedition, we all enjoy the good intention of this country, the provision they give to us. They will not tell you what they have here for themselves and their children. I will come here and tell you that we all enjoy some sort of humanity here, freedom here, and we have some way that we can protect our future and the future of our children. And that includes sedition who support George Weah. But they are not telling you about the opportunity they have in this country. But yet and still they want to tell you that George Weah is doing well. Well, the question here for you you need to ask them, why don't you come to Liberia and can't join us? And let be here and live with George Weah. And they will always give you the excuse in the world. And there where we separate. Because I will tell you here that you got no future under George Weah. You don't have a job. You don't have a bank account. You don't even have a house, an apartment. There is absolutely nothing. You only living as the day comes. Tomorrow is going to be August the 15th, Monday. You're going to run through that whole week, and nothing at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year. 5 years going on. There's nothing you can show for yourself. Really. And you want to give them another 6 years? Stop wasting your time. And this is where I come in to tell you that Mr. Cummings, along with the CPP, the opposition, they are the only choice that you have now. Do not, and I repeat myself, give George Weah a second 6 year. Don't do that. Do not do that. You're going to regret this thing, my friend. You're going to regret it. If you're 30 years old, after 2023, you're going to add another 6 years to your age. You're going to be 36 years old. What can you do with your life as a 36-year-old man or woman with no job skill, no job, nothing? What can you do with that? But you know what? When Mr. Cummings and the CPP comes in, there will be hope. And that hope will give you strength. And that strength will give you the ability to reach out for things that you have missed for the past 6 years under George Weah. I cannot express this more, my friend. I am not here to tell you that, look, I am here to because I'm being paid. No, I am giving you the free voluntary service here, my friend. This is what I can do as my contribution. I want you to live a life before God call you home that you will appreciate your own country you were born in. I have not seen people. I live in a same environment. I didn't appreciate when I was in Liberia what the past administration that I lived through did. And because I had learned a lesson and I know what it looks like when it comes to somebody trying to make the best decision for you. And I also understand someone who just want to rob you out of your future because they feel that you don't have the information, the resources to get the information across. And that's why we are here. There are many people on Facebook that will give you different things. But the only question I get to ask you, how sincere are they to you? Do they tell you that they got their children in America that are living good life, including themselves? And how about them asking you how you living in our country, especially for the person they support and you support? And if you tell them that your child is not in school, you tell them you don't have a bank account, you tell them you don't have a job, but they tell you that they have a job, they have a car, they got a good home, but then yet and still they want you to support a president whom they don't live on, but you live in there. How do you balance those things? Even though they tell you that they're living good life, and you know in Liberia that you don't live a better life. And this is where I want you to understand, fellow Liberians. These guys are not in your interest. So let's listen to Prince Johnson. All right? Let's listen to Prince Johnson, the unpredictable guy. People talking about TRC implementation. They're asking, he says, all bull crap. So let's listen to him more so that you can get new things. And then from there, we'll get into the real broadcast. Today, I want to take questions. I'll be reading all the comments. I want question. I'm here to answer question. I'm here to answer questions. So prep your question. I'll be reading them and then we'll be answering them. All right. So let's go ahead. If you want to join me, just let me know. I'll send you a quick request. You follow the step. You come here. You can ask your question live or you can write your question and I'll be able to answer it for you. All right. So let's get back to Mr. Johnson and let's hear what he has to say here. Where is Mr. Johnson here? Okay, let's bring back Mr. Johnson. All right, so he was in the process of discussing how he met Mr. Allen White. Matter of fact, why don't we just rewind the whole thing again? Yeah, let's just rewind the whole thing, and this time we will not stop, so you can have the information here. All right, so let's go back here.
What do you think about reconciliation in Liberia and prosecution of people who may have committed atrocities?
I think reconciliation is okay. Prosecution is foolishness. You know what? Why did they choose TRC? Why did they choose TRC? After that, I saw Africa. I was not in Ghana. They went to Ghana and the international community put before Liberia, War Crime Code, and TRC. And they choose TRC. So why do you want TRC to metamorphose into War Crime Code? You have to first pass the law, remove the TRC, and bring in War Crime Code, and go back again, collecting intelligence, information about people. Because you cannot just accuse people. You have to have facts.
Let me also ask you a tricky question. I read that there's an FBI investigation going on about presumed murder.
Don't worry about that.
Do you think it's politically motivated?
Political. I know the whole detail. I know everything. Don't worry about that.
But how is it politically motivated? Like, do you think that really the United States try to interfere in the elections?
I would not answer that because it's rubbish. I know who is the architect. The very architect of the propaganda invited me to Ghana. Dr. Allen White.
former...
Dr. Allen White, who was recruited or contracted for Sierra Leone issue. They invited me, and I met two white guys who are the lobbyists for Bernard Uri. They asked me to be Bernard Uri's running mate. Then they will move my name from the War Crown Court. Then they will move Bernard Uri's name for the economic crown, for the maritime money and so forth. So I told Dr. White, look here, are you telling me the truth here? Because if you know I committed heinous crime against humanity, why would you want to remove my name because you want to be vice president? Bullshit. Eh? If I came to remove Doe to liberate this great country from a dictatorial regime, from a tyrannical regime, and I left my function to go on a killing spree, then let me face the War Crown Court. If it is real, I go there. I'm not above the law. But you can't threaten me and put me under subjection that I must be running mate to Bernard Uri.
So you think there might be some interest even of foreign powers into this election?
I don't think so.
No?
I think Donald Trump, President Trump, the United States government has said they want to see a neutral election. Had there been a president, perhaps like Hillary, who is a good friend of Madame Salif, who 2011 temporary election. So I think it's okay now.
A lot of people who have seen this video that is currently circulating on YouTube about how you removed President Samuel Doe out of power
I'll tell
say...
you this. I cannot answer that. Samuel Doe, Bush Turbo. Do we have that video too? We have. He went to the Greystone compound where the American embassy is, killed the people. He entered the church and desecrated God's house. When you desecrate God's house, God's spirit moves from you. You are gone.
So you pay your debt? You pay debt on behalf of the people?
For every action, there is a reaction.
So if there are tyrants in power, you say there has to also be some violence
But
to remove
tyrants, you know, the norms that are found in a tyrannic regime are not found in democratic dispensation.
I was at your church and I was quite fascinated by it, and the education center above the church, I thought it was really amazing, and I was just like thinking, is that your way of saying sorry to the nation?
Look here, I don't know in what respect you are saying. After Civil War, you built a country. That's my way of contributing, not a way of saying sorry.
Would you say that even if such a situation comes up again in the future, where there's really a tyrant that deserves to be killed, would you do the same thing again, or would you do something different now as a reformed Christian?
If there was ever a government in Liberia again that chose to massacre Liberians, they will meet similar response. Even if I'm dead or gone, they will meet similar response. If I'm alive and the government choose to eliminate my people and target my people, we will remove you.
But is this also what
we will remove you. If you are a dictator, if there was ever a dictator to replace Doe, to target the people on Nimba, to eliminate them, or any Liberian, to eliminate any particular people, we will gang out and remove you. County and back home, who stood in long lines under the sun and rain to vote for me to lead this country. You have faithfully stood by me in all the elections in which I have participated. Though we did not achieve our dreams, but we have always enjoyed the honor to decide the presidency of Liberia. I therefore urge you all to keep hope alive. We will get there by God's own time. As I told the 15 counties during the campaign, I became more convinced than ever that Liberia needs change and a new government with a new vision. The roads linking our countries are deplorable and impossible. I believe that Liberia can fix this problem through the introduction of the toll-gate system. I am also convinced that Liberia needs security. This includes food security, job security, and health security. The next government needs to stop the importation of rice and invest in mechanized farming in order to make our country self-reliant in food production. I know that no one party can solve all these problems alone. That is why we must all join in to make the Liberian dream a reality. We must also continue to promote the doctrine of freedom of speech and civil liberties for all Liberians and strangers within our borders. We must lend our support to elect that government that will be for the people, of the people, and by the people. My fellow Liberians, judging from the results of the just ended first round of our presidential election, two parties made it to the runoff. They are the Unity Party, the Congress for Democratic Coalition. Analyzing the result further, the majority of the Liberian people voted for change. The message therefore was loud, clear, and unavailable. Pursuant to the historic meeting of opposition political parties I called in Ghana in September of 2016, which gave birth to the Ghana Declaration, we committed ourselves to ensuring an opposition victory for change in 2017 presidential election. After holding a broad-based consultation with stakeholders and partisans from across the country, and our stronghold in Nimba County, including executives of the MTR and with their approval of the concern, I have resolved to remain committed to the spirit and intent of the Ghana Liberation, of which was the convener, host, and architect in chief. Consistent with this belief, I am therefore honored today to announce to the Liberian people and the world aloud that with abiding faith in God and love for my country, my full and unflinching support and collaboration to the Congress for Democratic Coalition and my candidacy as Senator George as President of the Republic of Liberia in the forthcoming presidential runoff election scheduled for November 7, 2017. I therefore call on all members, supporters, sympathizers, and well-wishers of the MPR and all signatories of the Ghana Declaration and opposition political party leaders to join me in endorsing and supporting Senator George Manuel for the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. May God bless Liberia, long live Liberia, long live
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the election get closer and closer, what I'm here to tell you guys, some of the back end deals that always take place, especially during the second round of the election. From the beginning of this video, Mr. Johnson will ask whether he would prefer the war crime code or he would prefer some type of reconciliation. He described that as BS. He tried to compare that to South Africa. Mr. Johnson has been given rescue by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf twice, 05 and 011. And as he was approaching the end of Ellen Johnson protection, he was confused and started to put our words out there. If you recall, during the first round, when Mr. Weah was in Nigeria, he said that if Weah wins, there will be war, there will be war. Mr. Johnson always put out these intimidating words, expression, to make sure that people reflect on what he did in the past, because he has Nimba County, as he still thinks he does, to use them as a bargaining chip to get that protection again. So those of you that don't know, Mr. Johnson just made a comment recently that, oh, the election will be a fraud and this. That is Mr. Johnson's way of protecting his interests. Because we are going into another election, Mr. Johnson this time around will not be running for the presidency unless he chooses to let go of the senatorial position, which I believe he will not do easily. So what does he do now or says now? He is saying that, Mr. We are going to rig the election. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not true. This is how he behaved. This is all a strategy to disorganize your minds. Mr. Johnson is now willing to commit himself to the TRC. One interesting thing I also want you to underscore and remember, what did he say? Anybody who tried to mess with Nima County, he will bring that same behavior, violent behavior, as he once did against Samuel Kanyendo. But the question I want us to ask ourselves, does it really have to be a real physical gun violence? Because the judge we are here supposed today, people in Nima County are going through economic hardship. People are being killed overnight. So why Mr. Johnson is not concerned about Nimadians and Liberians who are getting raped in his county, who are getting killed, who are being economically abused, why he's not standing up for them? I want you to understand that aside from protecting the people with arms and other, dangerous material, there are things that are being done from the abuse of human rights in his county, right? And you will imagine, as protector, as he said, anybody who does something to the county, he will do everything in his power to make sure that it don't spread throughout the county. But you and I know that people in Nima County are experiencing, so many things that are even worse than the war. So then, why Mr. Johnson is not protecting the county now? And these things are happening right under the watch of who? Mr. Weir. I'm just here to tell you that, look, guys, of all the politicians you see in Liberia today, Mr. Cummings is the only guy that don't have any connection to what the guy use all the time to retain power. From every one of them who work together, they know what they're doing to the Liberian people. And if you think you're going to invest your interest for a better Liberia, you are wasting your time. Prince Johnson will eventually go behind George Weah because he wants that protection. And I think that the Biden people have realized that Mr. Johnson has been using them just for his own interest and not in the prosperity of that county. And I think this coming election, the people of Nima County need to make up their mind that Prince Johnson is not in their interest, but in his own interest, but he uses them to his advantage based on what he has done for them in the past. Those things are coming and gone. The 1990 days will never come back. Whatever atrocity that took place back then, it will never come back. What we need now is economic protection. And as you listen to Mr. Cummings, he spoke about economic protection. So let me hold you right there and let's bring Mr. Cummings in and let's see what Mr. Cummings has to say when it comes to what he has on mind to prepare and bring to the people of Liberia. I'm not the one here to say it for you, ladies and gentlemen, but I want you to understand what is in the mind of the politician. Prince Johnson is not somebody for you to rely on. I'm telling you guys today, I'm telling you guys to remember this, right? I'm telling you guys, Prince Johnson is not in the interest of Liberians. He's only in his own interest, but he uses this opportunity here. So let's listen to this. As the video start, I'm going to lower the volume a little bit because Facebook has the audacity to always interrupt my video because of the song, and I'm not here to fight City Hall because I'm not going to win. Facebook is as afraid of legal suit because people like to take this thing to their advantage to milk money out of this big institution, and I'm not going to be the one to be in the middle of the legal battle here. So I just want you to hold your horses. When the video starts, I'm going to lower the volume, and so that way you will not be able to hear the song. But as soon as Mr. Cummings starts to speak, I will release the volume. All right. So let's listen to Mr. Cummings' solution here and see what he has to say. It's loading up right now, guys. So let's listen to it. All right.
Kokolioko, chicken necro for day.
Oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Most Liberian homes don't have electricity. Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance. And
all right, guys, so let me take it back. Let's go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back here. All right, so please forgive me. I played this afternoon, and it's actually starting from where I left off. So just bear with me in there. Yeah, just bear with me in there. Let me take it back. Yes, let me take the video back. Just bear with me in there. If you guys watch me today, I was playing that video today. So I'm going to remove that and reinstall it again. All right. So just bear with me here. Let me do that for you guys right now. So we're going back for the video. Let's start it here again. So we are going to get that video right now for you, and then we're going to hit that. It's going to start immediately to play now from the beginning. I'm just going to load it, brother. What is going to be low? So let's see how. And we don't want to get interrupted here by that song. Interrupt us.
Oldest republic in Africa. Okay. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on.
Okay, let's see here. I don't know. I think it want me to play that song. That's what's going on here. If I do play that song, I'm going to be in trouble here. Yes. So let's see here. So
phone connectivity across Liberia.
There you go.
We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not fear ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our fifth priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion, all of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is, first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So, for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country, is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government. Because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us.
So, guys, just so you know what Mr. Cummings just explained, this is the brochure here. So, if you need a copy of what Mr. Cummings just explained, the brochure is right here. So, I'll tell you guys this. All right, I will tell you guys this here. I have seen election in Africa. I have seen election in Liberia, but what Mr. Cummings has explained here, this is a new day in how a politician should present his platform. This is a teachable platform that outline the different phases and steps that he's going to take to make our country better again. And he couldn't have put it better than how he just presented it. And that one of the reasons why, through all my frustration, who come to watch me, who not come to watch me, I am continuously pushing myself. Because when I see him speak in the shape and form, it gave me more energy and more opportunity to at least examine myself to say, yes, this is something that I have been missing through all my life. I can actually see the roadmap. I can actually see the landmark. I can actually see the steps that will actually make Liberia a better country. And it also gave me, there's something called BOLO. I don't know how many people here watching this year, but in corporate, we look at the company performance from the health and safety to quality to operation. There is something called the border, BOWLER. Check it out. Border is a scorecard that tell you exactly how things are from the corporate standpoint. And so most often when we go for corporate meetings, we discuss the different borders points and and see how well we are doing with the company operation. When I see what Mr. Cummings has explained and I continue to play over and over, it gave me a sense that I can take what Mr. Cummings has explained here and put it into a key performance indicators. I can design a border, I can create a bar chart, I can create any kind of chart to measure his performance. And these are things that I am very much worried about. Those who supporting Cummings today, whatever platform you on, I think using these kind of strategy to help our people understand will help them also to make an informed decision. I know people are carried away by the crowd, but at the end of the day, what is the crowd going to be walking away with when they get into that voting booth? What actually are they going to be looking at? Especially when Mr. Cummings talk about growing the private sector. How many people in Liberia today we understand that when they get into that ballot box, how many of them going to say, you know what, I heard somebody telling me about Mr. Cummings' plan that he's going to grow the private sector. When I look at education, he talk about teachers, he talk about vocational, and he talk about other traditional education. How many people understand these things? Yeah, because this is what I call the central message of a campaign, the central message of a political party. This man got everything, but I think the enabler, is where I think I see the challenges. We can do all the talking all we want, but what separate this man from all other politicians? Why should we trust Mr. Cummings? I would say we should trust him because of what he's all learning here. You take the thing, you put it into Chinese, the Chinese people see it. They take whatever belongs to Liberia and put whatever belongs to China. It makes sense. You take the thing, you carry it to the Middle East. The people can put it into Arabic, it will make sense because these are universal standards of how society should begin to solve their problem. I have never ever seen any politician in our history that is so transparent, clear, and well measured in his full of thought. But the challenge is how well are we coordinated to carry these things out? I ran with a campaign. There was nothing compared to what I am looking at right now as far as what Mr. Cummings has on the table. And, I mean, you've been there and done something before. You can tell the best one from the basic one. You should be able, and this is the real deal here. So I just want to encourage you guys. If you guys don't do your best, the thing go down the drain. It's not only going to go down as its own drain. It's going to take a generation down into the drain, folks. And there's no way we can get this. Only our grandchildren will be able to look at the kind of platform and say, but what were you guys thinking about? And you allow the thing to go. Today when we look at Toba vision for the country, I have the document over there. Just I'm broadcasting from different angle today. But when I look at what Toba has in mind for the country, and when he was developing those things, I was nowhere around. But as a measured person today, when I look at what Toba put in place, the first time I read that thing, I shed tears as I went through everything that Toba did. And I was like, geez, this man died for nothing with this kind of vision. And right now it has resurfaced again, come right back in our face. But how well are we looking at this thing? Are you looking at it like the way I'm looking at it? Are you really concerned about the future of our country? When you look at all the politicians, they don't have anything compared to this. I'm not trying to denigrate them, but what I'm trying to tell you is the form and shape in which this man platform is so uniquely aligned. It helps you to bring anybody to the table and explain to them to give you the vision. So we have to do what it takes for us to make this thing happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just appealing to you guys. I'm just appealing to you guys. You don't have to leave your political party. But what can you do as an ANC member is to be able to talk to someone. Just between yesterday and today, the young people are coming on our platform and trying to connect with us. But do you think I'm going to be happy about that? No. One man come to ANC today to join. I'm looking beyond how many more young men will come. And I will never be satisfied until that result come and say Mr. Cummings win. You can show me thousands of people. I would not be satisfied until I hear that final last count that say Mr. Cummings is declared president before Liberian say my heart will rest. So I don't care how many people watching me here. No, I don't care how many people coming to the party. If you come, I appreciate you. But I want your commitment to be consistent from the day you made that commitment to the end. And that also speak to those who support Mr. Cummings. Look, folks, I'm telling you guys, if Mr. Cummings win this election, which I believe he will, you will not find me around. So I want you to look at me very good, because I'm fighting the battle for the man to win. And when the man win, those of you who are not, in heaven, they say, the Bible says, those who fall hard will be given different level of seat. Those who fall low. I'm not going for any of those things. If Mr. Cummings win the election, which I believe he will, you'll find me anywhere you're gonna beat them in my butt. I'm sorry for being very disrespectful in a way, but I'm very dead serious about this. So I am just in the thing here for this man to win, because the vision the man got, it is a vision. I always spoke about 2065, that when Liberia will become better. With the vision the man got and the plan the man has, it paving a way to 2065. Because 2065 will not just come before, oh, boom, I'm here. No, we have to start planning for 2065. And no leader in our country got any vision, any roadmap. Liberia have been very unsuccessful because leader of the power had never been able to set a roadmap, a vision that will take us from point A to point B. This man is putting the thing before us here. And for those of all who are maybe not educated, semi-educated, super juniors educated, we all together must put our ideas together. Election is about a strategy. A strategy must have an objective. And an objective must develop different assignments to be able to capture these things that Mr. Cummings has written and distribute them according to the geographic. As I always say, the election will be based on three principal things. One, the demographic, the geographic, and the issue. Mr. Cummings has all these things, and all it takes for us is to educate the geographic and the demographic with this message as to how we do it. I'm not moved by people who go on bigger platform on Facebook. No, my measure of Mr. Cummings' progress towards winning the election will come from the people on the ground. And that's the reason why every day from Monday to Friday, I'm up in this office here from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. my time. Why? Because I want the people on the ground to get this message here. Because I understand Mr. Cummings platform also state that one thing that he's going to look at is technology and internet. Because not many people in Liberia have access to waste their data. And I think the radio wave will give us the opportunity to get Mr. Cummings to where he is. So guys, I cannot overemphasize this thing here. And, I'm a go-get guy. I know what it means to get the attention of the people from both working in corporate America and from running campaign in the past. We got a long way to go, and everything it takes is for us to redouble our effort. Yes. For me, I have given a learn by. I'm hoping that from now to December, based on the opportunity that I have to get Mr. Cummings names on the list of many Liberians. If I come across 5 Liberians by December, I want at least 3 or 4 to tell me, say, I know who Mr. Cummings is. This is a man who wants to bring an economy that will create jobs. This is a man who wants to see that on our infrastructure we have internet and we have technology. This is what I wanted people to hear. Yeah, this is what, because we have to create targets of where we should go by looking at our geographic and the demographic. We have to establish these targets for us to be able to get the message here. All right. The society that we find ourselves in today, Liberia, is a very complex society. Tradition is mixed with it. Some a level of illiteracy is mixed with it. Some semi-illiteracy is mixed with it. So you got to understand the environment, you got to understand the culture, you got to understand the mindset in order for you to be prepared to push the message forward. And that's why we are out here doing the best we can here. So I'm going to do the thing I can do, the fight I will fight. But again, we all got to do it collectively. Yes, we all got to do it collectively. If we will establish different regions throughout the country and make sure that we reach out to the different regions to see how well they're doing, that's fine. Liberia is no different from any country on the 4 quadrant we have. All right, that is the north, south, east, and west. How do we strategize to meet these things? It's all about planning. All right. I think enough have been said. So let's move on to the next video here. Again, we're still here with the Cummings Hour here. Before I do, let me look at a few comments here. I think there was a question here asked of me here. So let me go back and look at the question. But in the meantime, let me remove this here. I am saying to you guys, Mr. Cummings is the only political leader now in the country that can be trusted. Every other politician in the country, I think they have shown us what they made of, including George Weah, who is just wasting his time over there and pretending like he knows something and he doesn't really understand what's going on around him. So let me just move down the home here. Like I said, I'll be taking questions here. So let me go back to the top here before we go to the next segment of the show. Let me see here. Let me go down here. Let me go down the home here. I did see a question here before. Let's see here. All right. Someone just posted a question here. Let me read this here. Clarence, I think is Kaya. Clarence say, hi, J. Randy. What makes Mr. Cummings the best candidate come 2023? Let me blow the screen up so that I can answer that question there. Kaya, Mr. Cummings is the best candidate because he comes with a well-designed plan that you can read at any level of your understanding to your kids, your middle-aged adults about the plan he has. Mr. Cummings, as a philanthropist, has established a foundation in the country where through humanitarian needs and services from a gap analysis, he has provided services across many communities, institutions, and people in our country. He has proven to be someone who has understood what our people are going through. So when it comes to humanitarian gesture, he's doing well. When it comes to Human Development Index, Mr. Cummings has a school of technology where he believes that the younger generation are ready for the future, but they can only be given the tools in order to be ready for the future. Therefore, he has established an institution across the country where young brains like you and my kids are schooling in the country today. Now, with what he's doing within his own limited power, now with the government resources, if you give him an opportunity based on his vision of education, he's going to do more. And it's something that is all line on his agenda. You see it every day. You read it every day. I show it to you here every day. Number 3, he's a very honest man who lives by example. It's very difficult for people to live by example. People accuse him of doing all sort of things. He never ran away. He never backed down. Recently, as recent as 2 or 3 months ago, he went through a legal proceeding trying to teach us that no matter what people say against you, if you believe in yourself, you have to go through the due process. So when it comes to how Mr. Cummings wants to see justice as a political candidate who believes that leaders should set example, Mr. Cummings went through that. He went through the legal process, and today we all can sing the song Kumaya that he's free. He's free. With all that, still, Mr. Cummings still believes in a collaborative leadership. You listen to the man. He said his government will be a government of inclusion. Unlike the CDC, Mr. Cummings doesn't think that way. He believed that winning the election, if there are qualified people in the WIA administration that will be retained, he will retain them, because we call the kind of people with institutional knowledge. And institutional knowledge is someone who came through the civil service ranks, maybe stay at a position for 5, 6, 10, 15 years. Those kind of people, you can't remove them. Joe Weah did something, but he did it very badly and got rid of all the people with institutional knowledge. Mr. Cummings is planning to retain those people as well as those who are in his WIA government who may have some good ideas to move things forward. So Mr. Cummings comes with whatever Liberia had been missing, and I think giving him that opportunity, it will not be a regret, but a regret. A regret in a sense that why he was not given the opportunity to be elected in 2017. You will not be disappointed. You will not be regretting why you did not give him that opportunity in 2017. But it's never a time that I see as a time to be disappointed. All we have to do is to just support him continuously, because he comes with the package that will bring joy of tears to Liberians. Because when they start to see the opportunity that they miss, that they were not able to give him that opportunity in 2017, it will become a tear of joy. I believe in this vision of this man. I met him for the first time. We connected. He has that people gift that we'll call it here, where when you see him, you get connected to him because of the conversation you have. And he had a conversation with you at your level, whether you got a PhD or whether you just got a high school diploma or whether you semi-educated. He doesn't mind who you are. What gravitates him towards you is what your thoughts are. So I think he is a leader that you, if you are not in his corner, I think I will ask you that you give him that opportunity so that you can become a teacher. Sorry there, guys. My bad. Sorry there, guys. All right. So I just have to say this thing here. All right. So let's move down the home here. Let me see if there's any other question here. And let me say hi to everyone listening here today. And thank you so much for joining me here. So let's move down the home here. Let's move down the home. Let me see down here. Like I said, we're going to be taking questions here today. So we just took the other question. Let's see here. Can you guys still hear me, right? Because my mic just dropped. All right. So let's go down the home here. Let's see here. Let's see. Hey, J. Rennie. Okay, I just answered that question for you. I think you were trying to repeat that question. And let's see here. I see Doris that Doris is watching. And I also see Sis Agnes here. Sis Agnes said hi, J. Randy here. Let me see here. Okay, there goes Sis Agnes. She said, Mr. Cummings will put Liberia first. Yes, that she remain her consistency. I really trust her for that. And she retained her consistency throughout. So let's move down the home here. See Mon here. Mon here say, good evening, J. Randy. Thank you so much, Mon. Rebecca got to say, watching you. Thank you, Sis Rebecca, as always. All right. I need some, please. Let's see here. So when you say I need some, do you need a brochure? Of course, I will share the brochure with you. All you have to do is to inbox me. As the show continue to go ahead, inbox me and I will get back to you. Sissy Montro said here, and somebody said here, are you serious? I don't know what you mean by are you serious? Mary Momolu. I know you are a supporter of George Weah, and I expect you to not only say, are you serious? Sis Mary, I expect you to give a link here that provides George Weah 5-year accomplishment. All right, I expect you to give a link that will show that George Weah has done something for the past 5 years. I don't want you to just be serious yet, but I want you to be very productive here and give her what Mr. Weah has done. Because as you know, we all campaigned to make him president, but he has not been able to deliver for the people of Liberia. So the seriousness apply to George. We are not being able to provide in a brochure or any document form about his accomplishments. So that's something that we need to be asking questions about. Ceci Montro said, Mr. Cummings' vision drew me to ANC. I couldn't agree with you more. All right, I had never heard any presidential candidate with such a vision. You are on the money. I want all his vision to be applied in our country. He is the one candidate who really cares about our country. Vote Cummings for the change that our country have been waiting for. I mean, thank you so much for such a beautiful and world rating comment there, my sister. You're doing well. Let me see. Gietta here say, Randy, you have downplayed Mr. Cummings so many times on your platform. You mentioned Mr. Cummings will never be president in 2023. You also cited that he should wait for 2029. Yes, I said that. It's about politics. Yes, it's about politics. Mr. Cummings is a politician. He understands that everyone has the ability to win. When I campaigned for George Weah, I was in it for George Weah to win. Yes, that doesn't mean that I downplay. Politics is a game of strategy. You got to do everything to make your candidate win. Today, I'm telling you that George Weah is yet to present a 5-year accomplishment. It's about Liberia, Gietta. It's not about personal interest. What Joe Weah can do. Joe Weah have been very sincere by giving every one of us the opportunity, being open to us. Of course, look at Cindy McCain. Cindy McCain campaigned against Donald Trump, even though she's a Republican. She remained in her party. So by me saying something about Mr. Cummings yesterday, it does not condition me to not say, you know what, this is wrong. I have to do something. I know in your life, there are times that you took left turn while driving or while walking, and there are other times that based on what you experience, you take the left turn. I mean the right turn. So left is about what decision you make that benefit or and not benefit you. Yes, it's up to Mr. Cummings now to say, Randy, yes, I think I'm better than what you're saying. And like I said, the platform that I just read, when I was campaigning for George Weah, I didn't care for reading Mr. Cummings' platform. I never did. I never did because at that time I was comfortable with Mr. Weah. But now Mr. Cummings has come up with a platform, and I believe that the platform is applicable. Does that mean that I shouldn't support him? No, because this is where I separate myself. You can be my friend today. You can do whatever you want to do. But when it comes to putting the Liberian people first, and if you don't put the Liberian people first, I will come back here and I will criticize you. Even you, Gietta, if you say something good about Liberian people today, I will praise you. But when you start to turn around tomorrow, I'm not going to be your friend. Our friendship is not based on your interest. Our friendship should be based on what benefit the people, and that comes from the 4 pillars of the democracy. Democracy contains 4 pillars: freedom, justice, total representation, and equity. George Weah took office and decided to build condominium for himself. What happened to the people that we convinced? Why didn't he put the people first? So now if Mr. Cummings is coming here and saying, you know what, here are my plan, let's do it, I'm going to say, yes, let's support the Mr. Cummings man plan. It's very transparent. But at the same time, let's make sure that we monitor here, evaluate him on what he's going to do for you. If he doesn't live up to the expectation, then we can have somebody else to remove Mr. Cummings and be in there. This is not about me. All right. It's not about me. But I appreciate your question here. All right. We should be very diverse in how we open our things. Yes. Not everything you have done on the earth that people did not measure you. There are times you got wrong. And the fact that you're able to take responsibility for where you're wrong. When we campaigned for George Weah, our expectation did not meet the reality. We expected George Weah to do what he promised he would do. And today he's not living up to that promise. Should I stick with him? No, because he's not doing things. I could side with George Weah only if I was just a stubborn person. That is, I'm getting money, I'm benefiting. What about the people that we convince? I cannot live even in my old age or in the grave where I'm dead with that kind of conscious mind. No, that will separate me from other people. But I appreciate your question, and you know it's well in place. But I will encourage you, let together measure Mr. Cummings and see what we can do. There are other people who looking at things now. Like I always say, be proud of yourself by doing the right thing. Because those who review the bad things and continue to stick with the bad things, you should be proud of yourself if you see the bad things and start fighting against it by recognizing and doing the right thing. All right. So let me progress there. My sister Agnes here, exactly. Thank you very much, Agnes. All right. Somebody say here, let him wait for 6 years. Wait for 6 years for what? Mary, wait for 6 years for what? You got George Weah, a very, very incompetent man that cannot, all right? That cannot. Let me just help you understand here, Mary. Let me help you understand something here, right? So let's do this here. Let me bring this thing up here to teach you something very important here. All right. So let's bring this up here and I'll blow this thing up for you here, Mary, because I think it is better that you pay attention to this here. All right. So let's go back here. All right. Let's go back here. Let me take you back here. All right. If you want for George, we have to wait here. I mean, you want for other candidates to wait here. All right. All right. So let's go back here. Let's go back here. Okay, let's go back one more step here. So this is George. We are here, Mary. This is what we ran for George. We are here. All right. We ran it here for Mr. We are here. So let me come here and make the thing more bigger for you so that you can see here, so that we can get some understanding here. I'm not going to show myself here because I want it to be big for you to see. This is George. We are platform here, Mary. This is what George we are brought to the Liberian people in 2017. Now, if I ask you, Mary, when you look at all these things under the 4 pillar here, what training education George Weah has provided across each county in the country? What training? What have been the progress report? Now, hold your horses there. Let's go to something else. Let me show you something else here, right? So let's come here. You see this guy here from South Africa? The ANC of South Africa been in power for 19 years now and counting. Now, when you look here on the little arrowhead here, they are telling us since Mr. Mandela took office, you see the percentage of improvement they have done in the county, in the country, across every county. Now, when you come to Mr. Weah, all right, like for example here, they say your education, when they started, I think it was around 54%. Now they got it up to 94%. They are increased that. Housing, electricity. Now, when you come to Mr. Weah, all right, all the list of things there, education, training, health, where is Mr. Weah plan? Where is it? Where is the result? Across each county, if I were to ask you or Mr. Weah, education and training, how well has he done across the 15 county on each of the program? Can Mr. Weah provide a comprehensive report like this? No, he doesn't have it. So why would you want to give somebody another 6 years that cannot even provide any understanding of anything? Mr. Weah is not in a position to be re-elected. I'm sorry, Miriam. This is not about which party makes sense. All right. Even when you go further down here. All right, let's go further down here. When you look at this other thing here, Mary, look at this thing here. When you ask Mr. Weah right now, what is the current deficit in the country? How many businesses investment we have? The report just came out last week from the State Department. They said that people who are business minded that want to come to Liberia, they are afraid to come to the country because the country is so corrupt. Every institution that's supposed to work with the government, they are so corrupt. Now, when you look at the issue of healthcare, people jumping through the window in JFK because they cannot be given any payment arrangement if they receive medical services in the country. Now, when you look at Ghana, Ghana today got the same similar system that many countries have, including the United States, where you are on medical payment arrangement. When you look at the proliferation or the increase in gasoline and food prices, what is Mr. Weah doing today? What report can Mr. Weah show here? My sister Miriam, this is not about CDC winning. This is not about 6 years. It's about people's life. It's about people opportunity to be better with what the country has to offer. So this man got nothing. Whatever you say here, Mr. Weah got nothing. All right. Now to top it all here, what Mr. Weah want here, right? A man who say he love his people. Look what he are written here. All right. No citizen will insult the president and think you will walk free. Is this what Mr. Weah really wanted, Marion? That's the kind of country you want. I'm sure you live in America here, right? So Mr. Weah is not qualified to do anything. He's not smart. He's not willing to change. You are looking at an individual who don't understand nothing, absolutely nothing about government. So I understand your personal feeling, but Mr. Weah doesn't want any penny or anybody time to be who he wants to be. All right. So let's move on here. All right. Let's move on here to something else here. All right. Mr. Weah time is done already. So he's not that relevant here anymore. Yes, he's not relevant here. So let's move on to something else that Mr. Cummings mentioned here. So let's see here. All right. So let's come back here. Let's come to the next thing here too. All right. So let's see what Mr. Cummings has to say here. Guys, we're running out of time here. I want to leave from here at 11 because we are pushing the time here. So excuse me, let's try to do the best we can here. All right. So another thing I want to look at here too is this here. Let's look at this here. All right. So the history of Mr. Cummings. All right. The history of Mr. Cummings. It goes far away. All right. But now let's look at something here about Mr. Weah. Right. I want to take you back in time about these guys. All right. About these guys, what they used to do in the past. All right. Look at the hungry guys. back in the days. Let's just go back in time. Watch this.
Consider Executive Order Number 65 issued by the President of Liberia as unconstitutional, arbitrary, and counterproductive. The CDC observes that the executive order cannot override or abrogate a provision of the Constitution except during a state of emergency, which no longer exists. Hence, her decision to issue an executive order.
These were all bunch of hungry guys back in the days. As you can see them here, bunch of hungry guys back in the days. Look at them. Bunch of hungry
Executive
guys.
order cannot override or abrogate a provision of the Constitution except during a state of emergency, which no longer exists. Hence, her decision to issue an.
When they were in opposition, they knew everything. When they were in opposition, they knew everything. They knew how to quote the law. They knew how to.
The Congress for Democratic Change consider Executive Order Number 65 issued by the President of Liberia as unconstitutional, arbitrary, and counterproductive. The CDC observes that the executive order cannot override or abrogate a provision of the Constitution except during a state of emergency, which no longer exists. Hence, her decision to.
We are men now. Look at him today. He sat over there, nothing he could say. He could say nothing. Look at other than hungry individual, hungry, fighting Eddie Johnson Salif, nothing but for their own personal greed. Yeah, your Joe, we are over there. Johnny McGill trying to fight for equal justice as they claim it to be. But today they are in power, and look how they're behaving towards the people today. History cannot lie. You're watching.
Issue an executive order suspending a kind of provision of our Constitution. Example, the inalienable rights of the people of Monserrato is evidence of an attempt to influence and manipulate the conduct of the 2014 Monserrato.
Yeah, they're talking about manipulation, right? They're talking about manipulation. But yes, the McGill man here today going around and telling people, even when we steal, we do this. These guys are good for nothing individual. Nobody should give these guys any credit. These guys came to power just to enrich themselves. Nothing better they came to power for. Every energy and time that we wasted behind these guys, it came out to be a total fiasco, waste of time. I'm telling you guys. And that is why they need to be given only 6 years. And let's bring in the CPP of Mr. Cummings and give him that same 6 years and see what will be the difference. But for now, we are people, they ain't work for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Look at McGill today. How poor he looked, malnourished he looked like. And today, he has forgotten about everything that he used to say back in the days. Because he feel that he's prime minister now, he got the country resources on his belt now, he can go out there and say anything. These guys didn't work for them. Nothing they work for them. These were just hungry group of guys and who felt that left had let them down. And now, let's go back again and see
parliamentary election in favor of a son, a candidate in the aforementioned process, Mr. Robert Allen Salif. Therefore, the CDC will not comply with this unconstitutional, sinister, and irrational executive order number 65. The Congress for Democratic Change, believing the rule of law, will continue to adhere to the state order.
You hear Maggie talking about rule of law? You hear Maggie talking about rule of law today? All right, let's leave the tape and let's go somewhere else. Talking about rule of law. Let's leave the tape and go somewhere else about rule of law, all right? So let's leave there and talk about rule of law somewhere else here, all right? Let's leave this and go to the rule of law. And they say they were going to be, there are people who believe in the rule of law. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's put them to test here. Let's put them to test. Right? Listen to this. Rule of law.
Ensure the exercise of their constitutional rights are unacceptable. Unacceptable. ANC as a political institution
Let's start this over.
has issued.
Let's start this over. Let's start this over. Let's start this over. Let's start this over. Let's start it over. I really want to start it over. Let's start this over again. Yeah, let's go back. Let's remove it off the screen and let's start it over.
26. Turn into one of sorrow and violence due to the shocking brutality meted out against peaceful students of the University of Liberia under the banner of the Student Unification Party SUP, who were exercising their right to peacefully protest. The thuggish and brutal behavior is alleged to be sponsored by the state, by the government of Liberia, and supervised by individuals.
Yeah, the people here. Yeah, they're right here. These are the people who fell back in the during Ellington. There was no rule of law. Yeah, they're right here. You're looking at Jefferson Koji here. You're looking at Toy here. You're looking at all these guys. They sat around the table. And that's the one Gene Eto you want me to come support here? No. They were not part of the transcript. They decided to put things in the wrong direction. And when they start to do the wrong thing, we walk away. And now Mr. Cummings is speaking up. He's very transparent. He's putting himself in the situation where every Liberian now can look at him and say, we think this guy is going to be different, but we still hold him accountable if he makes mistakes. And I think this is where many Liberians need to turn. All right? Because we are all seeing what CDC have made of, and we're seeing what the result they are providing to us today here. But continue here, Mr.
with close association to the ruling party and this government. We also note the undemocratic pattern of targeting peaceful protesters and opposition candidates.
There you go.
This lawlessness and violence against peaceful citizens, including by those with the duty to protect all Liberians and ensure the exercise of their constitutional rights, are unacceptable. Unacceptable. ANC, as a political institution, has issued a statement condemning this brutality and threat to our fragile peace and exercise of citizenship rights.
Yep. So there you go here. All right. So you listen to McGill. These are the people who were there accusing Ellen Johnson Seti or infringing on their right. Yes, or infringing on their right. But you listen to Mr. Cummings here. Now, you think the behavior of the how they call it, the Jefferson Koji, the WIA administration, do you think it just started recently? No, you are joking. Listen to this one here. All right. This is a brand new one for you here. A brand new one. Jefferson Koji has a history of being a very brutal guy. Listen to this here. Watch this.
Involving Telayure, an election that was marked by violence.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's start it over. Let's start it over.
Those who owe him undue loyalty, he instructed them to distribute casualties and violence on the university students.
And this video came out during the election, right after the election of Abu Kamara, where Tilia Ure were part of that election. Listen to what these guys observed about Jefferson Koji. All right, so let me progress.
May we inform the Liberian people that this is not the first occasion where in Koji, the name Jefferson D. Koji has appeared in the Liberian media space for association with violence.
There you go.
The many of the report.
These kids are keeping things. Yes, folks. These kids are keeping things. All right. These kids are very smart. These kids are very smart. All right. They keep track of every nefarious government official. These kids are very, very smart. I want you to listen to them. These kids are very, very smart. What Mr. Cummings said about the consistent behavior of this government, Jefferson Koji, then they are part of the government, right? But what they continue to do, continue to create mayhem among the young guys, the young faces that just want to exercise their democratic right. And they see things, they say something, see something, say something. But what? Jefferson Koji continue to manifest himself. All right? So listen to this guy. I'm not going to say anything this time. I want you to listen to him. On court, listen to him.
The by-election in district number 13 involving Colina Spratopa on the instruction of Koji along with his infamous Sabu units Young people in district number 13 were brutalized. Today, that case has been thrown into obscurity. If you can recall, the by-election in district number 15 involving Telia an election that was marked by violence, by thuggishness, and by hooliganism. If you can recall, the centennial graduation ceremony of the University of Liberia on the instruction of Jefferson Tamakodi again, an occasion that was meant to be a graduation ceremony was reversed into a very gangsteristic occasion.
Yo, he's an actor of violence. Yo.
At that occasion, prominent militants in the country of Sugu are leaving the walls of the university. They were chased and brutalized on the graduation day. As we speak to you today, some of them have fled into exile. If you can recall, in district number 10, a children's party that was organized by Representative Yeke Kwaluba, again, on the instruction of Jefferson Tamakodi. That occasion degenerated into a very chaotic scene. Peaceful Liberians, children were brutalized on the instruction of Jefferson Tamakodi.
Yo, the instruction of Jefferson Tamakodi in 2020 beat the country. Yo.
If you can recall, on many occasions on the university campuses, Jefferson Tamakodi continues to appear in the Liberian media space for grave violations of human rights, the perpetration of violence, the unlawful brutalization of peaceful citizens of Liberia, and the disruptive behavior of a Turkish mayor.
Yo, don't particular means of maneuvering a way to institute violence. Yo. But you understand nothing. Yo.
On that note, we will reduce our height as the Vanguard Party officially respond to the Koji orchestrated violence at the University of Liberia campus on March 31st, 2022. Let me reduce my height and welcome and introduce the man who presides the paint industry of the Vanguard Student Vacation Party. The man who is charged with responsibility to introduce.
So we leave it as that. We leave it as that. But you see, and you just listen to how well that kid read it online, all the different activities orchestrated, organized by Jefferson Koji. And there's nothing positive or nothing good about that. So violence. Jefferson Koji has been nothing else but a very violent person. Very violent person. And in case live in our country, they are so well coordinated and organized that he laid out many things that Jefferson Koji has done. And that's the man who came to the United States here and think that people are going to give me a rousing welcome when he down there in our country, terrorizing any peaceful protest. But these are the people who many years ago, in the early administration, I was in the street dancing because they felt that Ellen Johnson said he did not give them the right to exercise their freedom of speech. But today, they are not only preventing people from exercising their freedom of speech, they are brutalizing them. Jefferson Koji is the head of it. And do you think J. Randy will sit here as an individual who believes in human rights? All right? Because your right as a citizen is your right to exist. And to see such an individual brutalizing his fellow friends, Liberians, and then you want to come here and say you're going to give Joe we have 6 years? No. You don't have to leave your party to vote for Mr. Cummings and the CPP. What you can do is to make sure that Joe we does not get the CDC will remain a party. Democrat, Republican, after Mr. Obama left office and elected Donald Trump. When Donald Trump came to office, he came with many surprises. Republicans joined Democrats from the state of Pennsylvania and voted Donald Trump out of office. They still remain with their party. The only thing they had a leader who was very bad. I was Mr. Trump in the African American people. So again, you do not have to leave your party to vote against Mr. Weir, right? Somebody has to check my sound. My sound, let's see what on my sound. Hold on, let me see something here. Yeah, let me check the sound here. Let me check this sound. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Let me check my sound here. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me check my sound here. Let me check my sound. All right. Yeah, this time. All right. Okay. All right. I think it should be better now. Let me check my sound here. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me check my. I think it should be getting better now. Yes, because I'm checking it out here right now. Yes, I think it should be better here now. Yes. I think it should be better here now. Right. And thank you for that, client. They all agree with his action. All right. So that's what we are, folks. So that's what we are. That's what we are. We have to do everything. You do not have to leave your party to vote against Mr. Weir. Keep your party, keep your membership. But I want you to understand that this man they call George Weir is not in your interest. This man came to power and he put himself first. He did everything for himself. Everything he did it for himself and left you guys out. You put your left on hold for 12 years while Weir became senator and put himself first. You're giving 6 years. In the first 9 months to a year, he completed 49 condominiums and never put you guys first. After 5 years, he called you guys to the party headquarters to read a musical lyrics, the words in the music. Today, the running campaign did not even give Liberian people any tangible about the young people lives. What they had done for the young people, absolutely nothing. And that is why I'm appealing. Yes, I will be appealing every time, whether it is here or on the radio. I will be appealing to many Liberians. One, you do not have to leave your party to support and vote for Mr. Cummings. Yes. Tourists don't read often, so let me read what she said. She said, wow, and there was nothing done about this. What a country our people live in 2023, vote them all out. Mr. Cummings is the right man, best person for Mama Liberia now. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. And these are messages that need to be on all platforms. So, guys, you got your own political mandate as member of the ANC and the CPP. Every platform you go on, any phone conversation, any call you make to any radio station, you need to do the best you can. Yes, you need to do the best you can. All right. The brother and sister of the state of Rhode Island show that Jefferson Koji don't belong here. Yes, he is going back to his president without seeing any United States representative. True, people with human right abuse record is not honored in this country. That is the message that he carrying with him today. That is the message. And that's what we need to be telling them now going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to hold you guys up. The show end today, but the campaign, the mission, and however you describe it of Mr. Cummings will continue. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back 4 a.m. in the morning down here. You are welcome to come and join us. If you can, I will share it when you wake up. Be ready to listen. Again, we have a new week coming up, and all we ask is God to give us the strength for us to do what it takes. All right, for us to do what it takes. All right. So again, our broadcast, as I always say in Shim and in Shad, we have our cash app. Just look for J Randy, as you can see my name, J Randy. The last name is double there. Please try to put in your late donation. We need to strengthen our broadcast. We coming up with an evening broadcast. We really want to do that evening broadcast because my counterpart in Liberia, he really want us to do an evening broadcast where he will be live in Liberia taking calls, and I will be live here, and then you guys will also be taking calls. We're working on that, but we cannot do it alone. We need your help from this side. And I cannot overemphasize, but I'm just appealing to you guys. We have a geographic to cover, we have a demographic to cover. We are also in search of connecting with other radio stations across the country. So if you have any, please let us know how we can work together and and be able to get more attention across the country. We are doing everything systematically. Yes, thank you very much, Stacey Montreal. That's it right there. So guys, take note. This is the J Randy stuff here, and we will start to give you guys a list of what we have purchased, and, and how we are putting the money together. We'll try to inbox you guys and give you an update on this thing. But again, we are doing everything possible to get our broadcast out there. Yes. So please let us do what it takes. Again, we need additional radio stations. If it comes out, we will let you guys know. Like I said, my goal is to make sure that by December of this year, we want, when any tally is taking place again, we want, if they're asking 3 people, one will be Weir, one will be Boca, and one should be Cummings. That is our target from now to December. And the only way we can push your thing is by discussing Mr. Cummings' vision. Yes, is by discussing Mr. Cummings' vision. I'm not here on my show to discuss about what the politics is this. No, I'm here to present George Weah failure to the people, and I'm here to tell them what Mr. Cummings' vision is all about. Anyone else who is doing something out there for Mr. Cummings, that's good. But for us here, we are here to push Mr. Cummings' vision into the heads of all Liberians to make that honest decision. You see, politics is a game of strategy. My role, when I campaigned for George Weah, my role at that time was to make sure that Mr. Boca poor performance was presented to the Liberian people, and Mr. Weah ability to lead was also presented in a different way. I'm coming here now to tell you that my goal here is to present Mr. Cummings' vision. That's why every time I come on live or maybe podcast, I always present Mr. Cummings' vision to you guys, because what Mr. Cummings is explaining in there, I want Liberians to grab that concept and take it with them to the ballot box. And once he becomes elected, they will begin to measure those things and see how well he's doing. So our goal here is to push Mr. Cummings' vision and Mr. Cummings' message to the Liberian people. That's our goal here, to tell them what Mr. Cummings was doing. So that way, when we sit down with them and say, tell me what everything Mr. Cummings is capable of doing. Oh, Mr. Cummings said he's going to create an economy that will create jobs. Mr. Cummings is going to ensure that across Liberia, we have internet that will be able to provide technology for us. And we think that this is something that is in our future, is something that we really like, and therefore I'm going to vote for Mr. Cummings. But before I leave, let me give you guys one caller. One of Cummings supporters. This is very interesting, folks. I want you to listen to this. The young man tried his best to get me the video. He tried his best. Listen to this one. You see the desperation of how people now are connecting to our show here. So before we leave, listen to this young man here, folks. Listen to him.
And increase our GDP in the world. Arizona Cummings is the right choice comes 2023. Fellow Liberians, do not hesitate to vote Arizona B. Cummings comes 2023. He is a man of leader. Thank you.
You listen to it? Let's go back again. Let's go back again. Again, you don't have to leave your party. The young man decided not to review himself. He decided not to review himself, but he's going to vote for Mr. Cummings. All right? Listen to him again. Listen.
Good morning, fellow Liberians. I am a citizen of Liberia, and I support Arizona B. Cummings for 2023 election. I support Arizona Cummings because I believe he can rebuild our country, increase our country budget from where it is now to 1 billion or 2 billion plus, give our country a good agricultural system, transform our country economic, and increase our GDP in the world. Arizona Cummings is the right choice comes 2023. Fellow Liberians, do not hesitate to vote Arizona B. Cummings comes 2023. He is a man of leader. Thank you.
All right, guys. So there you have it. There you have it. People now are listening. People are listening. People are reading. Like I said, if you need the brochure, we'll share with you. Young people now are taking note. They are reading these things. They belong to some political party. But like we said, you don't have to leave your party. And when you're doing your support for Mr. Cummings, if you feel that you don't want your face to be shown, that's fine. But just keep sending me that video and we'll play it for you. This is what we want to see on the ground. Let the young people be able to understand what Mr. Cummings' vision is. It is our goal. Let them be able to see and feel what Mr. Cummings' vision is. And that is why I'm here pushing the thing every day. And we invite more young people. And whether it's from River G, whether it's from Mike Gibby, we look forward to all these videos. And as we get these videos, we'll play them here for you because the young people now are taking this election very seriously. The young man is in Liberia. Send that video to me and say he's very proud. He wants to make sure that Mr. Cummings be successful. And that's why he's doing everything he can. Yes, everything he can for us in our country. So I would like to say a big thank you to him. And I ask that many other young people, including females, will join the fray so that we can promote Mr. Cummings. So we are making progress. We are getting these videos. So please do the best you can. This is what we want to see. If you live in Bapolu, send all your 1 minute or less than 1 minute clip. Tell her exactly what you believe. The young man believe that Mr. Cummings' economy will take our economy and create job up to $1 billion. It's not something that is strange. Africa, by the year 2030, going to be the marketplace for the world, and every economy in our country will grow. So he believes in that vision, and he feels it, and he telling his friends. So if you live in Wapolu County, you live in Lofa County, you live in River G, Muscarado County, do not hesitate to send all this information. All we ask is for you to get to that ballot box. Yes, get to that ballot box in 2023 and vote for Mr. Cummings. Until then, guys, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Now, please get in touch with your family member back home. Tell them to get in touch with their friends and let them do what the young man had done. Commit yourself and sell a video clip. Let us know. We are changing the strategy in our politics here. All right. And if people try to steal our strategy, we already invented it. We will see them a copycat and we'll go and let the world know that we started it here because we just launched that today. And we will be doing that in the coming days, in this week and going forward. Yes. So I'm encouraging everyone. Make sure you get that video clip, send it here. Tell us what you think. If you need a brochure, we will share it with you. You read it, you believe it. Let us know through a video feedback. We take your feedback very seriously because it helps to grow our strategy here. So kudos to the young man. And I would like to say a big thank you to every one of you guys. And good night. I will be back here very shortly. And I hope to see you guys. Other than that, I will see you guys when the daylight comes tomorrow. All right? Don't mind me. I'm on vacation. Do not mind me. I'm on vacation this week. Oh, I'm on vacation a week. I'm on vacation. Y'all give me the thumbs up. Y'all give me the thumbs. So y'all give me the thumbs up. So I'm on vacation a week. I gotta do some project around the house. So I'm on vacation a week. So I gotta do some project around the house. But we'll be here in the morning. So thank God we'll be here. So until then, I see you guys. Don't forget to get a thumbs up, all right? Good night to every one of you guys, and God bless you guys. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.